Let's say hello to Jeff, who's in Virginia. Welcome, Jeff. You're on Trunk Nation.
Hey, Eddie. Thanks for taking my call once again. I wanted to just say it was a great interview yesterday with Sebastian. Really enjoyed it. Made me, I got right on the phone and got my ticket to see him in Charlotte. I believe it's in August, and went ahead and got the meet and greet too. So looking forward to that. But anyway,
what's the Sebastian? Hold on, hey Jeff, real quick, because I'm always curious about this. What does the Sebastian Bach meet and greet cost?
$150.
Not too bad. Does that include the ticket or no?
No, it does not include the ticket. But the ticket was like $30. I mean,
all in,
it's not a bad deal.
No, all in about $180. And my understanding is, Sebastian, people who have gone to the meet and greet or bought that in the past have told me that he does take time at the end. It's after the show and you go up on the bus, and some people have told me that they've had some great times with him. And everybody has different moods, but that they enjoyed the time with him, that he put some time in. So enjoy it, Jeff. Thank you. What do you got today?
Thanks, Eddie. I wanted to comment earlier on the previous call about Manson's top 20. I'm not submitting the top 20 by no means. Not going there. I just wanted your thoughts. I'm sure you're aware that I believe the 5th was the anniversary of Eat Me, Drink Me. And in my opinion, I think that's probably Manson's most underrated album. I mean, you really saw a side of him that you didn't see in like his previous work. And sad to say, I never did get to see him live on that tour. And to my knowledge, he's never played any of those songs since then. And I guess a lot of it's because, the revolving doors with the band members. And I just wanted your thoughts on that. I know you're like myself. You like Mechanical Animals a lot. And, I was just curious as to what your thoughts would be.
Well, it's one of the song on that record, Heart Shaped Glasses, that was the single, was I love that song. I thought that was a cool song. And Manson, one of the things I've always liked about his music is that album to album, it's very different. Like, he goes into very Bowie sort of modes. He's been very industrial. He's been heavy. He's been acoustic. I mean, there's a lot of sides to what he does musically. That record overall, though, was not a successful record. And I think one of the problems that went on there was the fact that there are a lot of people that like the heavier side of Manson. And even when Manson toured with Slayer, I remember talking to Kerry King about this. And Kerry from Slayer was on promoting the tour. Hey, are you a big Manson fan? He said, well, I am of his heavier stuff, like Antichrist Superstar and stuff like that. So I think there's just records that slot in better than others with his core base, and that was a record that, because it was different and maybe a little more sort of gothy, glammy, poppy, whatever the case may be, lost a lot of the fans. They didn't connect with it. But Heart Shaped Glasses, I thought, was a cool song. And, of course, that was at the time when Manson was dating Evan Rachel Wood, who at that time, I believe, was like 17 or something. She was talking about super young. I think she was like just barely legal, if that. And he was not only dating her, but she was featured prominently in the video for that song, and some crazy scenes, which people thought there's a rumor that the sex scenes in the video were actually real, which they both, there's been conflicting reports on if that was the case. But what made that even more controversial is that she was super young. And now what's fascinating is, because of Westworld and some of these other shows, here we are 12, 13 years later, and she's a pretty prominent actress. But forever, she's going to have that Manson video to answer for as far as being in her history. But, there's some stuff, especially that song, that I like.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was going to say this. I want to ask you one last question. I'm a huge Manson Knight, and you've taken my calls several times. I brought to your attention about the collaboration with Shooter Jennings. And my last question for you is, being, like I reiterated, being a big Manson fan, a lot of his fans seem, I guess, were being ambivalent or a little apprehensive about this collaboration. And it's like you said, and I try to remind them, and I even quoted you several times on Facebook and whatnot. I said, he's a chameleon. He can't just do The Beautiful People Part 17 over and over. He's got to reinvent himself. That's what makes him Marilyn Manson. And it seems like a lot of the fans are really, especially with the pictures of Taylor Swift and him with the Jonas Brothers, they're just, that's just Manson. He's just unpredictable. And that's what
I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's just it. That's just it, Jeff. And go ahead.
No.
Sorry, Jeff. It looks like we lost you there. I'm sorry about that, buddy. But I got your point, and I agree with you completely. It's Manson is a chameleon. Manson does stuff that gets a rise out of people. That's his whole trip. If it's with pop stars, if it's doing things you wouldn't expect, that's what the guy is like basically built on. So, are you going to like everything? No. Have I liked every record he's made? No. But I do like a lot of the stuff he does, and usually within all the records he's made, there's things I like. But he is so all over the map that it would make sense that he doesn't make the same record a lot of times over, that there's things you're going to like and things you're not going to like. And that's the case with any artist that does a lot of different creative stuff. I don't know what Marilyn Manson working with Shooter Jennings is going to sound like. Shooter Jennings is an outlaw country guy. He's been on the show just recently. He's completely tied in with Duff McKagan right now. And what Duff is doing lends itself very much to a country Shooter Jennings sort of production and all that. How that's going to work with Manson is going to be really fascinating. Is it going to be sort of like a stripped down record? Can Shooter Jennings and will Shooter Jennings produce something heavy with him? Is that possible? I don't know. Remember this before you reach conclusions. The last couple Manson records, Manson was completely tied in with this guy Tyler Bates, who co-wrote and produced these last couple records he's made, many of which were well received. Tyler Bates' history, he scores movies. So you would see, if someone said to you, hey, we're going to get a guy that's really successful scoring Hollywood movies to produce Manson, you would be like, and by the way, co-write with Manson and play guitar in Manson's band, most people would be like, that's a disaster, that's not going to work. To a lot of people, the last couple Manson records, which were exactly that, with Tyler Bates, worked. Now Tyler Bates, by the way, is working with Bush and produced the new Bush record. I saw Tyler when I was in L.A. the last time. So you can't jump to the conclusions until you hear what the end result sounds like. But, Manson's always going to be that sort of chameleon guy and always going to do things to get people talking. And, he's all over the map in the stuff that he likes. He's never dull. Give him, if you don't like him, that's fine. But he's never dull. It always keeps you thinking. Always keeps you on your toes. And I've always respected that about him and what he's done. And there's been some songs on the last couple records I really, really liked a lot from Manson. There was a song called "Slow Motion" a few records back. I've got him in my phone. Looking forward to that tour with Zombie. I'm going to try to get to one of those shows actually. I think it's playing in PA, which if I'm home isn't too far from me. The venue he's at, it's kind of tertiary or secondary markets, but I'm going to try to get out there and catch some of them.